The laughter at the park wasn't sweet. It was mean. Two twin girls were cornered by the swings, clutching each other's hands, while a bigger kid shoved them toward the sand. A man in a faded navy tee stepped between them before the next shove landed. "Back off," he said. Calm voice, steel eyes. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin. The boy hesitated, chin tilted in defiance. "Move." They started it. The man didn't blink. "Name's Ethan. Try telling the truth." The twins, Harper and Mia, stayed glued together, cheeks blotchy, the younger one hiding a torn sketchbook behind her back. Ethan gently crouched to their height. "You two okay? Anything hurt?" Harper shook her head, voice small. "He ripped my sister's drawings." Ethan held out a hand. Mia placed the mangled sketchbook in it like it was broken glass. He brushed off grit, smoothing a page where a bright orange fox had been half creased. "These are good," he said, meaning it. "No one gets to treat your work like trash." The boy snorted. "My dad owns half this town." Ethan stood, returning the sketchbook to Mia. "Then he can afford new manners. Apologize." Silence stretched. Parents glanced over. The boy's friends took a step back. He mumbled, "Sorry," then stomped off toward the basketball court. "Thank you," Harper whispered. "Anytime," Ethan said. "I've got a daughter too. If someone messed with her, I'd want a grown-up to step in." A woman in a tailored blazer and low heels rushed across the grass. Polished, focused, eyes blazing. "Harper! Mia!" The twins ran into her arms. She looked at Ethan, reading the scene in an instant. The ripped pages, the retreating bully, the steady way Ethan kept himself between the girls and the world. "I'm Olivia," she said, a guarded edge under the gratitude. "And you just made an enemy you don't want." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Just did what was right." Olivia glanced toward the courts, then back at him. "That boy's father is Derek Cole. He retaliates, in public, in private." She exhaled, softening for a beat. "Thank you for helping my girls." Mia tugged on Ethan's sleeve, shy but determined. "Will you come to our school art day, please?" Ethan smiled. "If it's open to visitors, I'll be there." Olivia's phone buzzed. Her expression iced over, then thawed as she looked at the twins. "We're leaving." To Ethan, "Be careful." To the girls, "Say thank you." "Thank you, Mr. Ethan," both chimed. He watched them go, the sketchbook hugged tight to Mia's chest. As the SUV doors shut, Ethan caught his reflection in the window. Tired eyes, grease under the nails, a faint scar he never bothered to explain. He told himself he'd done a simple good deed, and that would be that. Then a matte black sedan eased to the curb, idled, and rolled away slow. Windows tinted too dark for a school zone afternoon. Ethan's phone vibrated. Unknown number. He answered. "Mr. Cole?" a woman's voice said. "Detective Reynolds. Do you have a minute to talk about an incident at Maple Ridge Park?" And a man named Derek Cole? Ethan's shoulders squared. "Yeah, I've got a minute." Ethan stepped behind the auto shop's bay door, phone to his ear. "Detective Reynolds, what's this about?" "Yesterday's park incident," she said, voice calm but clipped. "The boy you stopped? His father is Derek Cole. When someone crosses his family, he looks for pressure points, job, home, custody. You've got a daughter, right?" Ethan's jaw set. "Lily, 7. Then listen. If you notice strange cars, new customers asking odd questions, or a sudden complaint to CPS, call me. Don't try to handle it alone." He ended the call and killed the shop lights, scanning the street. A matte sedan idled too long at the corner, then slid away. By morning, 2 appointments canceled without explanation. The third guy came in asking too many questions about Ethan's schedule and who else had a key. Ethan wiped his hands on a rag and stared him down until the questions dried up. That afternoon, a familiar black SUV pulled up. Olivia stepped out carrying a paper bag that smelled like coffee and sourdough. "Thank you for yesterday." She set the bag on the counter. "And, I'm sorry, I was short with you. I get protective." "You were protecting your kids," Ethan said. "I get it." She hesitated, then leveled with him. "I lead Hayes Industries. Derek's been circling my company for months. He buys people, leans on banks, spreads rumors. What happened at the park gave him a new angle. Make an example out of the man who embarrassed his son and stood near my daughters. So, he scares me to scare you," Ethan said. Olivia's gaze didn't waver. "That's how he plays." A small knock came from the SUV window. The twins pressed their faces to the glass until Olivia waved them out. Harper handed Ethan a clean, spiral sketchbook. "For your daughter," she said, "so she can draw with us at the art show." Mia added, "And so you have to come." Ethan smiled despite the knot in his chest. "We'll be there." As the SUV pulled away, Ethan's phone buzzed again. Unknown number. A voice he didn't recognize said, "Mr. Cole? We hear you're open late. Mind if we stop by after dark?" Ethan glanced at the corner. Same matte sedan, returned. He slid the shop's deadbolt across with a quiet click. "Shop closes at 6, he said, and hung up. Across town, Olivia stared out her office window as the city lights blinked on. She texted him one line. "If anything feels off, call me first." His reply came fast. "I won't let this touch the kids." The school gym smelled of glue sticks and sugar. Cookies, kids darting between folding tables covered in crayon-colored masterpieces. Ethan walked in with Lily's hand in his, scanning the crowd until Harper and Mia spotted him. "You came." Harper beamed, tugging Mia over. They each grabbed one of his hands like they'd known him for years. "Come see our foxes." Olivia appeared moments later in a deep green blazer, her hair pulled back in a way that made her look untouchable until she knelt to thank Lily for coming. For a second, the CEO melted into just, "Mom." The moment broke when Derek Cole's voice cut through the chatter. "Well, if it isn't the hero from the park." Ethan turned to see him, tall, tailored suit, 2 bodyguards in his wake. Derek's eyes slid past Ethan and landed on Olivia with a smile that didn't touch his eyes. "You always did collect strays," he said. "Leave, Derek," Olivia replied, ice in her tone. "This is a children's event." But Derek stepped closer to Ethan. "You think you embarrassed my boy? You embarrassed me, and I don't forget that." Ethan didn't flinch. "If your kid learned not to pick on girls, I'd say it was a good day." Parents had started glancing over. Olivia moved between them, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Walk out, or I'll make sure the press hears about how you harassed a father and 2 little girls at an elementary school." Derek's smirk faltered. He leaned in toward Ethan, his voice low. "Pawns get swept off the board without anyone noticing." Then he turned and left, the bodyguards trailing. Ethan exhaled, but Olivia's hand stayed clenched around his arm. "You're in it now," she said. "And Derek never plays fair." It started the next morning. 2 customers canceled without warning. By noon, Ethan's biggest repair job, a contract that would have covered next month's rent, mysteriously fell through. That evening, Lily's school called to verify a complaint about her attendance. The principal's tone made it clear someone had been feeding them lies. Ethan didn't need a detective to tell him whose fingerprints were on it. By the 3rd day, A black SUV, different from Olivia's, was idling across from his shop. Two men sat inside, faces shadowed, watching. Ethan walked right up to the curb, rag still in hand, and stared until they drove off. That night, his phone buzzed. Olivia's voice was tight. "He's escalating. My board just told me 2 investors are pulling out, and I have reason to believe Derek's feeding false stories to the press about both of us. So he's trying to burn us down at the same time," Ethan said. "Yes," she replied, "but I have a way to end it." Her plan was as risky as it was bold. Collect proof of Derek's financial crimes, embezzlement, offshore laundering, bribery, and feed it anonymously to the right media outlets. But until it went public, they'd be targets. Ethan thought of Lily, of the twins, of the way Harper had hugged him after the park incident, like she knew she was safe. "I'm in," he said. For the next week, they worked in shadows. Olivia used her corporate access to pull incriminating files. Ethan reached out to people who owed him favors, old army buddies, a retired cop, getting recordings and eyewitness statements. One night, as they left a meeting with a whistleblower, a figure stepped out from the alley, one of Derek's men. "Mr. Cole?" the man sneered. "Maybe you should focus on fixing cars and leave the rest alone." Ethan stepped in close, voice low and even. "Tell your boss if he so much as looks at those girls again, I'll forget I'm trying to be civil." The man didn't reply, just backed into the dark. Olivia's gaze was unreadable, but there was the faintest glint of respect in her eyes. The leak hit the news before sunrise. By 9 a.m., Derek Cole's face was on every local channel, words like embezzlement, bribery, and fraud scrolling beneath him. Reporters camped outside his office. The stock of his company plummeted before the market even closed. Detective Reynolds called Ethan personally. "He's done. Federal agents have him in custody. You and your daughter are in the clear." For the first time in weeks, Ethan's shoulders eased. He drove straight to the shop, half expecting to see the black SUV again, but the street was empty, quiet. That evening, headlights swept across the bay. Olivia's familiar SUV pulled in. She stepped out with Harper and Mia, each carrying a covered dish. "We thought we'd bring dinner," she said, her voice lighter, unburdened. Harper handed Lily a brand new sketchbook, identical to the one Derek's son had ruined. "Now you can draw with us," she said. Mia grinned. "And we drew you something too." She unrolled a large sheet of paper. Ethan standing in front of the twins and Lily, the words, "Our hero," in big, looping letters. Ethan swallowed hard. "This means a lot." Olivia watched him. The steel in her eyes softened. "You didn't have to get involved that day at the park. But you did. And you stayed when it got ugly. That's rare." He smiled. "They're worth standing for." The girls set the table on the hood of a car, laughing over spilled soda and swapping stories. For the first time in weeks, the air was free of tension, replaced by something warmer, trust, maybe even the start of family. Derek's shadow was gone, and the bond forged in that moment by the swings would outlast every threat that tried to break it.